What's up, everyone? Welcome to the first video of many for a short podcast, I guess you would say. So most of y'all know me as Juan. Some of y'all might know me as Lucid. And if you've known me for a long time, then y'all know me as Young Reaper when I was making music, you know. But I'm a content creator and diving into everything from vlogging, just when I'm out taking adventures, reviewing food, to filming short films, as some of the videos are on this channel. Uh, I might film a few things of me on the golf course. I'm not the best, but there might be some videos of me doing that. And we're also going to do, like I said, the podcast thing, talking about some real conversations about life, people's views, just everything. And, we might have some people come in here. Who knows? That might just make you laugh. So whether you're here to laugh or learn or just vibe out, you're in the right place. This podcast is about sharing the journey, the wins, the losses, and everything in between. So, with that, let's get into the main focus of today's video. So, I got a few questions that I have written down on my phone to explain. Sorry, to explain some of the things. I need to get a water. But as a lot of y'all know, I do a lot of community work in the background, like behind the scenes. I don't really go public with it. I think last year of 2024 was the first year that I went public, just showing like who was doing a lot of stuff. And it's crazy. A lot of people, like, there's some people that didn't really think that it was real, and they kind of were saying some stuff. But shout out to all my people who stood up for me in that post. Appreciate y'all. But let's go ahead and answer a few questions. So one of them is, you've been helping people behind the scenes for a long time. What made you finally decide it was time to introduce yourself to the public? And with that is, over the last few years when I have been doing it, I would just ask like some of my friends, be like, "Hey, do you know anybody who might need help this year?" And it got to a point where a lot of people were doing a lot better, and that's good. I like hearing that people are, you know, advancing and going on to bigger and better things, and being able to provide for themselves a lot more. That's something that I love to hear, especially with people that have helped multiple times. Just seeing like the growth in them, that was amazing. So I was like, well, if I post it on a public platform, then I'll be able to help more people that I don't know, people that my friends don't know. So we did that. Like I said, it was crazy because a lot of people thought it was a scam. People like saying, "Well, I never got a message, this and that." And if you know me, I do this like by myself, out of my own pocket. So I don't ask for no big company to come help me. So just being one person, it was hard for me to message everybody. Like I think I ended up like turning off comments for a little bit so I could catch up because there's a lot. And I think at the end of the thing we were able to help over 30 families, which was amazing. It was a good feeling because we went from helping like 5 to 10 families to helping over 30, and I was like, man, that's amazing. I should have done this a long time ago. And the second question that they have is, for those who don't know you yet, how would you describe who you are and what you stand for? I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm not the best person in the world. I'll never claim to be. I'm not better than nobody. And like a lot of people who truly know me, they kind of know like, hey, he has a good heart and he wants to help people, but I could be an asshole at times. I'm not gonna lie, everybody's like that. Like, I'm just a person who believes in, if you're respectful to me, I'm respectful to you. I respect everybody without even knowing them. But if you like cross the line and start saying some foul stuff, then of course, I'm a man first, and I'm not going to tolerate no disrespect. And that's just how it is. A lot of people, they look at me and they're like, "Oh man, he's a piece of shit." But you should ask them like, what did they do for me to be that way towards them? You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm gonna say. And I stand for like being peaceful, resolving stuff in a peaceful way. But if it does have to go the opposite way, then I'm all for that too. It don't matter. And let's see. The next question is, what inspired you to start giving back, especially around food, holidays, and helping families in need? So again, it's one of those, if you know me, like from way back then I didn't have the roughest childhood, but when it came time to like Christmas and Thanksgiving, just holidays in general, it wasn't it wasn't the best, you know. My mom did what she could, and I appreciate her for that, and I always love her for that because she made something out of nothing. And I always told myself when I was younger, if I ever get in a position to where I can help people out, then that's what I'm going to do. And I think the younger me would be proud of what we do now. This one, this one's a good question right here. It says, "You rarely ask for donations, but you've always asked if someone needed help. And why was that your approach?" Because here's the thing: when when people help you out, a lot of people aren't doing it out of the kindness of their heart. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people are probably gonna disagree with this, but a lot of people want to help you out so they could throw it in your face later. And trust me, I've been in that situation where I had to swallow my pride because of a work injury and I needed help. And it's one of those, hey, you remember when I helped you out? You remember when I did this for you? Me, I'll never count favors. That's not who I am. If I help you out, it's because I want to, not because I want to use it against you. So when I ask people for donations, I don't want them to come back and be like, "Hey, this dude here, man, he ain't really doing nothing. He's asking for money to do this and that, and I'm not going to do that." So I don't ever ask like for donations like in cash and stuff. Like a lot of people ask, "Hey, can you uh donate this amount of money for I could get this?" Like if you're going to donate something, like just donate your time, like help me go and give some of these like during Christmas, like help me give the gifts to the families during Thanksgiving, like I buy the turkey and the dinner and all that. I was like, donate your time and just help me pass them out. That's on donation I want. That's I don't want nobody giving me no money for they can throw it in my face later. It says, "What's one moment in your journey that really stuck with you or changed your perspective?" So the one thing that always gets me is like there's some people that reach out that don't really need the help, but it's not my place to judge or anything like that, but I'll still help them. And the one thing that really hurt me one time was when I gave somebody some stuff, you could just see like how ungrateful they were for it because it wasn't what they were expecting. They were expecting something way more. But the one thing that kept me going is I had a family who truly needed it. And I gave them what I did. And like it was just crazy to see how grateful they were. Like they were breaking down crying, telling me thank you, giving me a hug, and just saying like, you're doing something to like change people's lives. Like some people don't have somebody there for them. And just I'll sit and talk with some of the families like when I'm doing it, and I don't ever record none of the stuff, bro. None of the interactions. I don't do that. To those who do, more power to you. But me, I want a genuine like conversation with them. I don't want to set up a camera and be like, okay, now we can talk. No, I'm going in there by myself talking to them because I want to know like like how they truly feel about it. I don't want them to act for a camera. But like I said, that family, like it brought me to tears just knowing like just a simple thing that I did for them, like made their day. And it's amazing to see the families that are grateful for the help, you know. It says here's another question. What were some of the toughest parts about doing this work quietly without big support or recognition? Really, there was no tough part, bro. There was no tough part. I enjoyed doing it when I was doing it behind the scenes because I didn't want to be known as the person who was doing it. I just want to live my normal life. Don't treat me different because of what I do. Treat me for what like you see in person, not what you see online. Like if we interact in person, you know, you're gonna you're gonna judge me. You're gonna be like, oh, this dude don't seem like such a good person. Because I make jokes, I talk some mess with you. But like what you see online, don't don't go off of that. Because your persona online could be way different than what it is in real life. But me, I'm telling you, I'm genuine all the way around. I am who I am, whether I'm on camera, whether I'm in the neighborhood, the stores, or anything. Like when we go out and hang out down in Fort Worth and stuff, like I'll just talk to strangers. Like it's cool. Said, did you ever feel like quitting or like no one saw the impact you were making? Nah, I never felt like quitting. There was times that I was a little upset because of some of the families that weren't really grateful. But it comes with everything, man. That comes with everything. You're gonna have situations where it's like you want to stop, but not this. I can't stop this. I don't care if I'm just making a change in one person, as long as I'm making some type of change. It's not all I was focused on. Says, how do you stay grounded and keep going even when it feels like the world isn't watching? I'm just a humble person. I don't care who's watching. You know, I don't care if a million people are watching me or zero people are watching me. I'm going to do what I do because it's what I believe in. And this one right here, this is a good question too. Says, can you share a story where someone you helped ended up inspiring you in return? So it's crazy. Like a lot of the people around me that are still around me, we have conversations. I like to have deep conversations with my people. Like I'll tell them, if you feel you are going into a wrong path and you feel like what you're doing isn't what you're meant to be doing, then just take a step back and think about what you really want. And my brother, man, my brother Raymond, shout out to my brother Raymond. He inspired me a lot because we had deep conversations about stuff. And he was telling me like he has all these ideas, but he doesn't know what he wants to do. Then he found his thing. He wanted to do the real estate, and he grinded. He was looking up all kinds of stuff. I would call him. And I'd be like, "Hey, bro, what are you doing?" He goes, "I'm studying, bro. I gotta take this test. I'm going to these I think it was like seminars where they teach you about a lot of stuff that he's doing." And he stayed consistent with it, man. That's like my biggest inspiration right there. He stayed consistent with it. Now he's over there working with a lot of people. I believe he's closed a few deals already. And like I said, this is just in the last maybe year, maybe less. And he's on it, man. Like I said, shout out to my brother, man. You doing your thing, bro. This one, it says, now that you're stepping into the public eye, how do you want people to support your mission? Now that I'm going a little bit more public with everything, I just hope that I inspire people to continue, like, putting out positive energy and helping others. So like they say like when you buy somebody, like say you go in front of somebody and you buy their meal for them, and then they buy the meal for the person behind them. I hope it's just like that. I hope it's just like a domino effect. Like Hope every year it's just more people are coming out and being like, "Hey, is there anybody in need of help this year?" And that's my biggest mission right there, is to kind of make like a little domino effect to where the community's all together, because if your community is separated, then your community's not going to be that strong. It's not going to thrive. But if we could all come together and be just like, and I know it's not going to be a big old thing where everybody's united and stand together, because of course everybody has their own beliefs and all that, which is fine. But even if it's just one of those to where it's just pushing people a little bit to be more friendly to each other, I think that's the big mission right there, is to show a lot more love instead of a lot more hate. It says, "What do you hope people take away from hearing your story for the first time?" Don't judge a book by its cover. That's the biggest thing, you know? And like I said, a lot of people probably know me from my past and stuff, and they know that I've done some stuff that I'm not proud of. I have no regrets, but sometimes I'm not proud of some stuff. I would do it again because it's stuff I had to do. But never judge a book by its cover for sure. Just because you look at me, I have all these tattoos, have a tattoo on my face and all that, you would never guess that I do a lot of this like stuff like behind the scenes for the community. Like there's a lot of people here that don't even know who I am, and I've helped them out. And it's crazy because telling you, people look at me, they're like, "That's not a good guy," which is fine. I don't care what they think of me. If you could say one thing to your younger self, the person who first started this journey, what would it be? We did it. We did it, man. That's all I would say, because like I said, when I was younger, I made a promise to myself. If I ever got in a position to where I could help others, I would, because I know what it's like being in a situation where you needed help and nobody would help, which is fine. Like I said, shout out to my mother, man. She made everything happen for us. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have finished school because she pushed me to go to school. If a lot of y'all know, I think y'all remember when I missed school for almost like freaking 2 months. Didn't even go. I said, fuck it. Um, if someone's listening right now who wants to help but doesn't know where should they start? If you want to help out your community, just make a post. Social media is a wonderful tool to reaching out to people, but make a post. Just start there, and I promise you, you'll find people. You'll probably find people in your community that are doing the same thing that you didn't even know about. So, but with that, man, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. This is the first video for this type of podcast. I don't know what I'm doing for the rest of the day. I gotta go make some music or something. But again, I appreciate y'all being here. If you made it this far into the video, please like, subscribe, and share, and all that stuff. And get ready for the food review, the taste buds. I'm aiming. So today's July 26th. So I'm hoping I'll have a video up sometime in August, before the middle of August. But again, y'all have a wonderful day and stay blessed.